welcome back to the class, everyone. Over the last 8 years, Capital Games has introduced a variety of new game modes, mechanics, and features to our beloved game, Galaxy of Heroes. And while a lot of them have been great successes, like my personal favorite, Grand Arena Championships, not all of them are gonna hit the mark. So that's really what today's video is going to be about, or more specifically, we'll call it constructive criticism in regards to our new raid, the Speeder Bike Pursuit. Now, the Speeder Bike Pursuit was announced several months ago, and they've been giving us information slowly over time as to what it's going to look like as our new raid, replacing the Crate Dragon raid. And I will say that I've come around already on a few things. Number one is the cadence of this. At first, I was a little apprehensive that we were going to be getting a new raid every 9 months. It felt a little bit quick. But as far as the content concerns go for the majority of the community, I've realized that this is probably the proper way to do it. That being said, now that it's finally here and I was able to get in there and actually play around with it, I was a little bit excited at first, but as soon as I got here, my first instant feeling in regards to the raid was, I do not want to learn an entirely new game. And don't get me wrong, CG has to be innovative with our game as it continues to progress. 8 years for a game to exist is a very long time, and you can't just stay stagnant doing the same things over and over again. You have to go out to new game modes, and not all of them are going to work, whether it be a raid or TB or something with JC, PvP or PvE. You have to keep creating new things. But this to me just feels so wildly different from everything I know and love about Galaxy of Heroes. And I really do mean that. I enjoy playing Galaxy of Heroes immensely. I've been doing this for 6 years now. I make content on this. I have a specific role in our community, and that's great. I enjoy all of that. But when we get here and all of a sudden health no longer means health, and accuracy no longer means accuracy, and crit avoidance no longer means crit avoidance, everything just kind of goes to the wind for me. And the raid itself doesn't even feel all that bad. It just feels completely different. And again, with our characters, there has to be modifications made to keep the game interesting without just simply releasing new characters. And again, credit to Capital Games, they have done this very well throughout the years. I think back to one of the first things that got added was mods. Mods took all the information that you already knew about the character and they elevate it to a higher level if you could just learn this next piece to the puzzle. For example, Mara Jade, great character. Everyone knows Mara Jade is a great character. However, if we just learn the next piece in the puzzle that she needs a lot of speed, we're done. That's all we have to do, and now we have a better version of Mara Jade, one that's very fast, that can go first, they can get the turn meter train rolling for your Emperor Palpatine and or Starkiller team, and you're great to go. The next iteration that we eventually got along the way that I think really helped flesh these characters out and give them a more vibrant home in the game were Omicrons. Omicrons are a little bit, not lackluster, but they're a little bit different in the sense that you can't use them in every game mode, but they allow and enhance a character's abilities in one specific game mode in order to try to provide balance so we don't just have a bunch of OP characters in every single game mode doing whatever they want. I kind of view this, and this is going to be a silly illustration, but we're going to run with it. I kind of view the Omicrons like ice cream toppings. Well, each character in game is an individual flavor. We've got our 200 plus flavors, like Malgus. Let's say Malgus is mint chocolate chip ice cream. I love my mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's one of my favorites. I also love Malgus, so we're just going to run with this. And Malgus, much like mint chocolate chip ice cream, is good in every single game mode. He is good in GC, he's good in TW, he's good in Conquest. However, if you want to spice things up, you can put chocolate syrup on Malgus in GAC, aka being his GAC Omicrons. He's going to have that extra punch. He's going to be a little bit better than he would be elsewhere, and there's going to be an enhancement. Again, another piece of the puzzle to our characters that we have to learn. With this new raid, while it is taking some aspects of things we already know, like the stats we already know, and converting them into other things, it feels like CG is taking all the ice cream that we have in the game, all 200 flavors, or I guess the 30 flavors that are allowed to be in the game, and they're trying to make hamburgers out of them. And don't get me wrong, I like hamburgers. Hamburgers are good. But if I wanted to eat a hamburger, I wouldn't eat a hamburger made out of ice cream, although that's slightly enticing. Basically, what I'm getting at here is the new raid does not feel like Galaxy of Heroes. It feels like an arcade game. And while I don't hate arcade games have their place. If I wanted to play one, I would play an arcade game. I don't want to have to go through the whole work of relicking up these characters, learning all these new mechanics, figuring out which team comps go together, just to do a raid that I essentially could be doing the same thing if it were just designed exactly like the crate raid. And I really did enjoy the crate raid. Again, it brought something interesting to the table with characters we already knew. While I already had a good understanding of Maul and Jabba the Hutt's kits and knew how they work, there was an extra piece added to the puzzle in that raid where they brought different things and effects to the table that now I could leverage everything that I've learned, all the knowledge that I have, and just add this one extra thing on top of it and progress in the system. This raid doesn't really feel like it has that leverage and that kind of respect for the amount of knowledge or learning that we put into the game. And I just feel heavily enticed to pick 2 or 3 random characters, throw them in there, hit auto, and get my score and walk away, because I don't want to. I don't want to learn an entirely new game. Not a game mode, but an entirely new game. And again, this is meant as constructive criticism for CG. I'm not even mad that they did this. I'm really not. As a company, you have to try new and innovative things to see what sticks and what doesn't. For me, this one's just a hard no. Like, while I'm fine with it, and there are even some bright sides, there is a certain quality of life standpoint going on here where I kind of showed at the beginning, maybe we'll show it again at the end, but the score that I got from just autoing all these random squads with no remodding, no like insight into comps, I was literally just picking random characters, hitting go and hitting auto. I got a higher score in this raid than I ever did in the crate raid, having specifically taken all my cartel up to R8 with Jabba, having worked on my Mandalorians, having worked on all my other stuff. Here, I'm just going in, kind of picking things that look like they probably go together and hitting battle and hitting auto, and I'm getting a higher score. So from a quality of life point of view, that's pretty great. Like, just to be able to hit a button, get better rewards than I got before without really having to do a lot. But at the same time, I play the game because I enjoy it. I play the game because I want to, because I'm in it for that puzzle. I'm in it because the character that I have now, I've got the right mods, I got that puzzle piece, I got the right Omicron, I got that puzzle piece. Now I'm gonna go into the raid and I'm gonna learn this extra new puzzle piece, but instead I get here and I'm eating an ice cream hamburger, for lack of a better term. And yeah, that's pretty much where we end up. So in the future, I would really like to never see anything like this again. That's kind of what we're going for here. And I would much prefer, I'm not saying that this needs to be entirely reworked and scrapped and boycotted. Like, don't do any of that. But the next raid that we get, I would much prefer it be back to the old crate style where, yeah, pick 3 or 5 factions or whatever it is. I don't really care. Even the 3v3 aspect of it is fine. That already does kind of exist in game. But use the abilities that we know. Use the stats that we know. Use the mechanics that we know. And just add another piece to the puzzle so that we can continue to engage with the characters and the things that we love in the game that we all enjoy. Because you shouldn't probably be playing the game if you don't consistently enjoy it. But yeah, that is pretty much going to be what we have to say. Thank you for everyone for listening to my rant. Again, I'm not angry. I'm not really even disappointed, but this is just my feedback saying this one missed the mark. And while I think a lot of the things out there that CG does are typically great, yeah, this one just didn't have it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay awesome.